Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Bullet Points is Biden's having himself an anti-gun get-together. What could go wrong for the Second Amendment rights in this country? Biden's got himself a party planned for September, and we are going to talk through all the details. It's going to be amazing. The who's who of everything is going to be there, and everything's linked in the description box below if you want to find out more, and this is something we will be following. Because I'm betting you, whether we see a policy right out the gate in an announcement in a speech, or we see one about 3 weeks later, I'm pretty sure you're going to see some pressure on the Second Amendment because the who's who of gun control is going to be in attendance. Everything is linked, like I said. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think of this one. I'm going to say a quick word from a returning sponsor for this weekend, Nautilus Ammunition, and then we're going to dive right into it. And again, I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Now, this video is brought to you by Nautilus Ammunition. Nautilus offers a unique opportunity for your freedom seeds. Specializing in American 9mm and 223, they have a subscription service which ships fast and right to your door. By cutting out retail and shipping straight from the manufacturer, you win in a big way. We're talking about saving $3 to $5 a box of these bad boys. To get updates on sales and product releases, head on over to their Instagram linked in the description. And thank you so much to Nautilus for making a return appearance as a sponsor for this weekend. But brothers and sisters, we have got to talk about this little soiree that is being planned at the White House. Because, like I said, every time these things go down, something new and exciting for me to cover comes out because gun control is the newest rage over there. Anyway, let's get it. Biden hosting Unity Summit to combat hate-filled violence. So one thing about this administration, if I can say anything in the world, it is they know how to brand something. If they're going to take a slam or a nap, they're going to brand it. They're going to say it was the greatest unification opportunity that they've ever seen. The soul of America is now better that I have taken my nappy by. Good Lord, these people with their branding. But anyway, let's keep going, even though it's completely not true and redefining definitions. No big deal, side topic. President Biden will host a White House summit next month aimed at combating a spate of hate-fueled violence in the U.S. as he works to deliver on his campaign pledge to heal the soul of the nation. I find it fascinating and ironic that his idea of healing the soul of the nation is turning one half against the other half and making them fight and hate each other. But other than that, and also assaulting and assailing the rights that are held cherished in our Second Amendment, as well as our First, as well as the entire Bill of Rights. But other than those little pieces of chestnuts, we are going to heal this soul so good. Goodness gracious. This administration is like chicken soup for Pennsylvania Avenue. The White House announced Friday that Mr. Biden will host the United We Stand Summit on September 15th, highlighting the, quote, corrosive effects of violence on public safety and democracy. Advocates pushed the president to hold the event after 10 black people were killed at a Buffalo, New York supermarket in May, aiming as well to address a succession of hate-driven violence in cities including El Paso, Texas, Pittsburgh, and Oak Creek, and Wisconsin. I wonder what common sense solutions are going to look like out of this Unity Summit. Let's keep going because they've got a few hints and more details are forthcoming. The United We Stand Summit will present an important opportunity for Americans of all races, religions, regions, political affiliations, and walks of life to take up the cause together. The cause of what, I wonder? The unity? That big broad topic? Mr. Biden will deliver a keynote speech at the gathering. I'm on pins and needles. Which the White House says will include civil rights groups, faith leaders, business executives. That makes sense because they're putting so much pressure from a corporate standpoint. Law enforcement, gun violence prevention advocates. I wonder if David Hogg's going to be there, Shannon Watts, Michael Bloomberg. I wonder if all the who's who. Igor Volsky, is he going to make an appearance? Because the who's who of gun control are going to have the president and the administration's ear for a good 2 hours at the White House. Again, I reiterate, every time this happens, we have a new policy idea, whether it be an executive action from the ATF or the Biden administration via the ATF, or it's, a warrant and a raid in a different scenario, or it's new gun control legislation that'll be proposed. Anytime it's not furthering our rights across the board. I'm not super excited to see what's going to come from this, but I got to fill you in because this little, as I said, soiree tends to lead to things. Anyway. The White House emphasized that it also intends to bring together Democrats and Republicans. What do you bet it's going to be? Democrats on gun control side and the rhinos on the other. I bet you Lindsey Graham, John Cornyn, and all those guys, Murkowski, I bet their invitations are already in the mail. It's going to be quite the festivities. As well as political leaders on the federal, state, and local levels to unite against hate-motivated violence. Now, of course, hate-motivated violence, hate of any kind, is not acceptable and it's not okay. But for them to come through and say, hey, we're just going to get some common sense solutions with the who's who of gun control advocates. We're going to throw in a few Democrats, we're going to throw in a few Republicans. It's not going to be poisonous at all. This sounds like a deadly concoction. Anyway, let's keep going. The White House did not outline the lineup of speakers or participants, saying it would come closer to the event. It would also not preview any specific policy announcements by Mr. Biden. There you go. There's the policy announcements. Again, we got gun control, we've got ghost gun legislation, we have increased scrutiny on 4473s from the ATF. They have not gone shy on the executive actions. Oh, goodness gracious, these people. Quote, what's important to us is addressing mental health, gun control reform, addressing misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. It's a lot of informations. Quote, we want policymakers to focus on common sense solutions, common sense, there it is, so we don't see this type of violence in our communities, and we want to see the implementation of policies that reduce violence. What do you bet that the gun control side of the argument, the Democrats, the administration, the gun control advocates, they aren't talking about more policing? What do you bet that they're not talking about actually having DAs that put people behind bars for violating crime? Something tells me it's not about that. Something tells me it's going to be about the proliferation of guns on our streets, the epidemic of gun violence, the weapons of war that are proliferating in our communities. You know, that whole chestnut. I'm betting we're going to see a lot more of that. One last thing. Benavides, who is the activist speaking here, said the president holding the summit would help galvanize the country to address the threats of hate-inspired violence, but also she hoped for long-term solutions to emerge from the summit. So therefore, the pressure's already coming out. It's like, hey, we are going to need some policy decisions. Come on, dance. Let's do this. Let's see I want to see a figurehead, a czar of gun violence in your cabinet. I want a cabinet position around gun violence. All of this is going to start trickling out as we get close to this, and we will be following it in and out on this channel every single day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow morning on the Bullet Points. I'm Braden. See you later.